Hello and welcome to Ringfreaks. We are the company which provides you with the ultimate experience of Nürburgring Nordschleife by providing you the best track-prepared cars, complete track tools for you to rent. It has never been easier before to rent such a car for the Nordschleife. You can only compare it to the airport rental. So you just simply book it online, you pick it up here and you go to lap it. And hopefully you come back on four wheels back because it's still the most dangerous track in the world. We offer a variety of the cars which you can check in our website here, and we basically have all of the cars which would suit all of you. So we have front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, also we have with the paddle shift automatic gearboxes and also still the manual ones. It means we can suit most of your needs and you can choose the car which you are used to drive or you would like to drive. However, we have all these petrol models like BMWs, we have Clios as well, we have even Golf. We are missing some part of the future. I believe you already understand from the name of the video that we are going electric. It doesn't mean that we are going fully electric. We will still have all of these models still for next season and probably later on. But we are getting fully battery electric car. No plug-in thing, no hybrid thing, fully electric. As all our cars meet the racing standards, it means we have FIA cage, bucket seats, 6-point harnesses, also racing suspension, racing brakes, and many more modifications to first be safer and second to be faster. The electric car which we will have, it will meet the same Ringfreaks standards. It means it will be a complete race car which you can rent to drive the Nürburgring. So stay tuned and follow us and we will show whole process how we will go electric. It means that we will show you how we purchase the car, how we deliver it back home, how we test it, how we build everything inside, how this disassembling, painting, testing afterwards, and even the renting after everything it's prepared. So you can see whole process how we will go through this journey, which sounds crazy, and we had this idea for the last 2 years, but just now we find the right time to do that finally. So follow us and stay tuned. So the day has finally come when we can pick up our second Tesla Model 3 Performance. So yeah, you heard it correctly, second already. So now we will go with Ray together to pick it up in Köln. And we will film later there from there on. So as well we will explain a little bit why it's second one. It means that we bought two Teslas. So on the way we will explain that. And now let's go to Köln. Good morning.
Good morning.
And let's go. So we are on the way to Köln and we are already halfway there, and in about half of an hour we will pick up the second car. And let's call this car first one, and the one which we will pick up in a moment the second one. And now I will explain you why there are two cars. So this car in the beginning will be used for testing because it's still autumn and the track is still open. So we will test some of the modifications already on this one. Also we will try to do some laps, maybe some small hobby racing in the track, so we can see how many laps we can do in the track while pushing, while driving in medium speed. Also how much time we need to recharge the battery to get back on the track, so we can be fully prepared for next season to know what kind of packages to provide for you. Because maybe the car can do 2-3 laps easily, or maybe it can do 4 laps, or maybe on the evening session it's possible to do 2 laps, quickly recharge and then get back for another 2 or 3 laps. So we need to get answers this year to fully be prepared for next year. And the second car which we are picking up now, so that car will simply go from Köln to Ringfreaks, and after just the minor testing, like to test the supercharger and to test the performance of the engines and battery, if everything seems to be fine, the car will be basically disassembled from day one and be prepared for the roll cage. So we will have one dummy car and the car which we will be preparing from day one. Reality of German autobahns, so it's just unlimited speed for 10 kilometers and 20 kilometers of road works, and always like that. Can't complain about the quality. Ray is still afraid to use the autopilot, so he's driving old school bike himself. So you can see he's still using the steering wheel and the pedals as the normal person do.
Which is possible. This is the good part, it's possible.
Why are you still afraid to use the autopilot, Ray?
because I'm very old and I'm very old school. And I like to have control myself. See, because now I can do like this. If it would be autopilot, the car would start nagging. So it would go like, ding, 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 please keep the steering wheel on.
Well, it's everyone's choice, right? It's good when you have a choice.
So it's actually very simple, because you know, people always say that Teslas, this autopilot self-driving, it's ridiculous and it's dangerous. Well, be like me, drive yourself then, because you can.
You have the choice to drive or not drive, as up to you. You can use autopilot or not use, like Ray. Don't be, of course, like Ray. You can use the autopilot, but if you want to be like Ray, you can be like Ray. Okay, so we are still in the traffic jam like here. And yeah, it's German autobahns, but it's only about 20 minutes left for us to go, so we are pretty close to Köln already. And million cars are here as always, and traffic jams, roadworks, nothing changed in the past 10 years, I believe, and won't change in the next 10 years as well. Looks good.
Looks very good.
So we have finally arrived at Tesla, and here we already see some new Teslas as well, performance models still on the truck, and there's already some empty trucks. It means that Tesla is delivering quite some cars. This Tesla shop is located in some industry park in Cologne, in a pretty old building, but inside it looks pretty nice. And here we already see probably customers who are taking cars as well by themselves. Thank you, Ray, for delivering me here.
You're welcome.
And have a good road back to Ringfreaks.
I will.
And see you a little bit later.
Yes.
Danke. Okay, so we have the plates already, and now we're just going to find where the car is standing. Our number is 223. So this is our car, should be open soon. We see much more cars here, similar Model 3 performances, or just long ranges or short ranges. So now we can basically put our plates on and drive this home back. Okay, so the plates are on the car already, and what you always should do when you are picking up the completely new car, or even you are picking up the used car which is said to be in perfect conditions, every time you pick it up you should always check all the body details, and underneath as well, maybe it got some damage while being delivered. That's why it's always best to check on the spot before moving the car, so you can claim on it, or you can ask for some repair, or even you can agree not to pick up the car and go home without the car and wait for the replacement one. That's what we will do now. So we will simply just look underneath the car. Also we'll look all the bumpers, doors and everything for scratches, dents or any imperfections, because later when I leave this place, it will be all on my own. It will be my fault that I didn't check it correctly. The first thing is, like always, the front bumper, because it's pretty low car, and if it gets a scratch it will get under pretty easily. But here I see it should be fine. It should be all fine. Yeah, so the front lip, let's say, it's in perfect condition. There is no scratches on the sides. The wheels also look good. The car looks perfect. The car is, by the way, still locked, so I'm still waiting just to get into my car. So I'm just looking for anything what can be wrong. The spoiler is pretty well attached. The rear looks perfect. Yeah, everything should be fine. Okay, I hear some sound already, and I think the car is already open. It just opened because there was some sound, but I need to really check it. Let's see if I'm correct. And no, it is still locked. I will wait a little bit longer and later maybe they will unlock it for me or not. We'll see what's there. Oh, it's something you just stick to the tire. Okay, that's a bit odd, but yeah, can't complain too much. So, as you have just seen, the delivery process takes only like 5 minutes. So basically you just bring your number plates, registration document and your personal ID, and you simply make a really just one signature, and then the car is yours. The rest, basically all the tutorials and everything, they're online in your mobile app or in the car as well. In the big dash you can see all the tutorials how to use the car. So yeah, it makes it pretty easy and fast to purchase it. There is not so much of the ceremony of the pickup of the Tesla, because it's really just a pickup of the car. You come, you put the plate on and you go. So there is nothing more. There is even no coffee to drink. As mentioned before, I will just test drive the car a little bit, and yeah, basically this one, so let's call it second car, will go for the assembly and we will start making the project. Oh, perfect. Thank you very much.
Enjoy.
So finally we got the access to the car, so we can enter it. Okay, first door opening ever. Nice. So finally we got our car opened, and basically I can just jump in and drive home back. So I will head the Nürburgring now, and I will try the supercharger at Nürburgring. So first let's get into the car and let's search for the keys, and let's check if they are working or they are not attached to the car. So the keys should be always in the middle console. So the keys should be here. Yeah, so I find the keys. To start the Tesla you should put the keys here, and to see if I press the brake, okay, it starts. And we can also try to lock and unlock the car. So it's basically you just put the key next to the B pillar, and yeah, it locks and unlocks. So it's pretty dark inside. You just put the drive in. We're heading out. Okay, first meters with the brand new car, which has total of 11 kilometers driven. So it's basically just from Chinese factory to the ferry, went to the Europe, and went from the ferry in Europe on the tow truck, and from the truck to here. So it's completely new, brand new Tesla Model 3 made in China with only 11 kilometers. Here in the parking you see all kind of Model 3s, also some Model Ys, not so much, but there are already few. Model 3 comes in the performance or long range or standard range, so you see all three kinds of Model 3s already delivered here. So it's really simple place where the Tesla delivers the cars. It's simply just a parking lot next to their shop, so it's really comfortable for them, so we don't need a car storage, so we simply use the parking lot space. That's maybe a little bit rough, I would say, compared to the price tag of the cars, but in the same way it makes everything easy and simple, and maybe as well cheap. So let's say it's always better to have the car quality and performance than to have the fancy shops, let's say. Okay, we need not to crash, and let's go. Will we be let out or not? Vielen Dank. Ciao. And that's it. We are off on the roads. We have 250 kilometers of battery left. It will be definitely enough to go to the ring. Now we will stop a little bit to make few adjustments where it's brighter at outside. So first maybe we'll change the language to English. We'll adjust the seats a little bit, steering wheel, mirrors. Also we will set up the mobile connectivity, so I can access and start the car only with my mobile phone, so I won't need these cards. So firstly, let's adjust the mirrors and the seat and steering wheel, which is pretty easy, and in this car you can really use the voice control. So basically you just need to press the right button here and say what do you need to say. So okay, now it doesn't listen to me, but okay, now I'll try. Adjust mirrors. Ah, okay, so it doesn't understand English yet. So first we need to change the language and display here, touch screen, language English. Okay, it needs to reload to change the language a little bit. So also we need to change the voice recognition also language to what we need, so it's English. Adjust mirrors. So now we get a screen how to adjust the mirrors, and what it says is that we should use the left button to simply adjust it. So now we are adjusting the left one. So it's really easy that you can do everything with basically one button, and when you press the right, when you check how the right is. I have already adjusted the seat to the lowest settings, which is possible, which is still a little bit too high for me, but for others it should be comfortable. However, the steering wheel is very, very high, so it's the same. So we just press this button, adjust steering wheel. And now it gets a menu that we can simply adjust it, like, okay, lower, closer to me. Yeah, it should be pretty comfortable now. Later I can always adjust it even on driving with the same voice control things. Okay, so now we just need to put the navigation where we want to go. So we very simply press the supercharger, we zoom out a little bit, and yeah, it's still downloading many things, but this is the Nürburgring supercharger showed here, and basically we will go to it. Okay, of course. Even we have already set this up. We want also to set up the autopilot, but it would be allowed, so we always press, of course, that we want to use it. Of course we want visualizations, and we don't want to speed, and we always want all the possible warnings which are possible, so it would be safer to drive. We are set to go, and we just need to put the seat belt and we can go home basically. Okay, it asks to put the card here, so we just put the card, the car, let's say, starts, and off we go. So now while driving you see this this small steering wheel, and it has this blue circle being filled while driving. It means that the autopilot is not ready to be used, and it needs to calibrate its cameras a little bit, and also it wants that I would be a driver for a while till it really feels how the road goes, what the cameras really sees, how the speed looks like, how the lines look like, and once it's full, then it will be allowed for me to use the autopilot, and I won't need to drive this car, let's say on the faster sections like Autobahn. But now we will have the pleasure of driving ourselves. It's a little bit strange that the blue circle is not filling it in. So I have already driven about I think 5 kilometers, and it's still like empty, but maybe I just need to drive a little bit faster. So yeah, so I will see a little bit later and keep you updated. Okay, so here we are back, and as you see we have already autopilot engaged, and as you see it took us about 15 kilometers to fully calibrate the cameras, so it can recognize everything and drive safely. So it means that at the moment on the trip back home I just need to take care of the traffic and that the car is doing everything correctly, but in reality I don't need to drive it. However, the driver is still always responsible for everything what happens, and the driver should pay attention to the road as he would be driving. So just to use this as the assistance, not as a driver, yeah? So always drive careful, because it's still a machine and it can fail. And this car has the most basic autopilot version, so it's called Autopilot 3, of course, but it has no full self-driving option bought. It's the most basic version, which can basically keep the lanes. It also can keep the distance against the car which is in front of you, and yeah, and keep the speed. So this version of the most basic autopilot in the Tesla, it's really useful to use to be used on the highway, where the roads are pretty straight and the speed is pretty constant. However, for this car we didn't bought the full self-driving option. It means it cannot change the lanes, so it basically can just go straight and brake before the other car and keep the lanes. And if you need to change the lane, basically the driver needs to take control and change the lane. So, and later again engage the autopilot on. However, the other very useful feature of this autopilot is simply driving in traffic jams, because many people spend a lot of time in traffic jams, and as you see, I don't need to press the pedals now. I just need to keep the hand on the steering wheel so the car knows that I can take care of control if it's needed. That basically drives on its own, so I don't need always to move my leg between the gas and the brake and steer and etc. So it really saves time and energy in traffic jams. In traffic jams, actually the car allows a little bit longer for you to drive without hands, let's say, until it makes a warning. So here you see the warning already is here. Later the top starts flashing blue. It means you need to take care control of, and later on it starts to make the sound. Yeah, and I should just simply put the hand on the steering wheel, put some force to say that, hi, I'm here, and if needed I will help you. It's pretty nice system, so it really helps to drive on highways and boring roads. Of course, for the rental we will turn off this feature off, so people cannot complain that the car didn't do sub 7 laps or something. So if you want to drive this car fast, so you will sadly have to drive on your own. That's the point. So we will disable the feature of autopilot, so the car cannot be engaged in autopilot in the track. I think the use of autopilot in the track would be a little bit too dangerous, because it's not about this car that it cannot handle, but it will probably try to drive pretty slow in the tight corners where other guys may be much faster. So it's always still best for the drivers to take control in the racetrack. It's not a place to test the autopilot, I think, yet. But on highways and boring sections it's really useful. Just now I understand that after this idea we had for the last 2 years to build the Tesla Model 3 performance for as a ring tool for rental, in early 2020 we have bought one Model 3. However, we had to postpone this project because all the COVID things started, and we were a little bit afraid because we knew that the tourism will be reduced a lot and maybe the car will be just standing a lot. So that's why we took a hit, and we decided to sell the car and simply to look how everything goes with COVID. And I think it was a good choice, because yeah, 2020 was really hard, and there was not so much people. And 2021 it already looks way better, and now we decided it's the right time to start this, to be pioneers at the Nürburgring with Tesla Model 3 as a rental car, race car, fully prepared one. And now we bought 2 cars, and yeah, this car is completely new, has 38 kilometers on it, and I'm already halfway to the Nürburgring, and we will simply start assembling this car in a few days. A really big dream coming true, that our team can buy a completely new car and prepare it as a race car. For me, it's unbelievable. I've been in car building business for the last 10 years, and I have never had this opportunity before. And I would understand this while doing with some BMW or Porsche models, which are like completely okay to buy the new one, and you know what to do, what to buy, and how to build it, and how the car will be in the final. And with this project there is so much questions to ask and so little answers that it really excites me, because there's complete unknown where we will be in like next 2-3 months while building this car, with what kind of challenges we will have to battle in the next 2-3 months. It really excites me, and it's a little bit scary, but the interesting part of the project, it really makes it so special, I believe, for us. And with all these videos we will try to answer as well you, the viewers and our customers who will rent this car, how it actually goes, how it actually is, because many people are still afraid of the electric cars. They think it's not ready yet, the technology or something. We think that it's already here and that it can be used as a daily, as a rental car, as a racing car, but nobody did it yet, so we will answer all these questions as well for you and ourselves. Also, big shout out to my brother, who will be taking the silent part of this project of the videos. So he will do all the editing, and basically he will create the videos. So really big thanks for his contribution to this, so that you can see how the Tesla project goes. With our own skills, it would be way harder, and I believe the quality would be way lower to bring these videos online. We will be filming whole this project of the Ringfreaks Tesla and other projects by ourselves, because we want to show basically many details during the process of building the car. And while having some professional to do this, it will be very difficult, because the guys should be completely full-time at Ringfreaks. Anytime when we find something interesting, or when we are doing some more difficult job, the guy should film every time there. So that's why we chosen to have not the best quality of the film, but to have the best content which we can show for you, the real one. Yeah, so sorry for the mistakes, but I hope you will enjoy all this series which we will bring to you. Also, myself and team are a little bit still shy on camera, but we will try to get better and better, and we will wait always for the comments to say where we can improve, how we can improve, what you want to see more, what you want to see less, what you like, what you dislike. So it will help us to improve the quality of this footage. So I'm really excited of quite many things now, and one of the things that we are at the finish line of 5th season for Ringfreaks. We are also building few more cars, which also includes the Tesla Model 3, which is crazy for me. We are looking forward to already 2022 season, so it will be the 6th season for us and most of the team. Super exciting, and it's a little bit scary of how much things we have to do in the autumn and winter months, but I believe it will all pay off in spring, when we will see the result, what we managed to make in the winter time. So many people ask what we are doing in winter while the track is being closed, and track is being closed because of the snow, ice, fog, and minus temperatures. So basically the track at middle of November to early March is being fully shut. So everybody may think that we may take vacations of 5 months. No, actually we will be preparing for the next season, and the winter, I already see it will be very tight, because we have so much to do and interesting projects ahead, and we will simply be building cars, preparing the older ones as well to refresh them, to maybe rewrap some parts, maybe to change some engines and something to be fresh for the season, and new cars to be built. So the autopilot is capable of doing 150 on his own, and later on it doesn't allow you to drive faster on it. Of course, there is no limit on the car, so you can drive much faster on your own, but with the autopilot engaged you can drive 150. So you can see there is the car ahead, so it already brakes automatically and keeps the distance. So it's pretty, as I say, handy for autobahn use. Okay, here we are. So it gently accelerates. And we are back to 150. Always still keep the hand on the steering wheel, as it's suggested and must. Also, another good thing of Teslas when you have, so for example, you can set up where you are driving. So for example, to Tesla supercharger, when you already approach it and it's like 10 kilometers left, it says preconditioning battery for fast supercharging. It means that the battery, even you are driving not so fast, it will be hot enough to already from the first percentage of the charging to accept the maximum possible power. It means that now we will arrive about with 25% of the battery left to the supercharger. It means that we should get about 220-230 kilowatts of power charging. So it means that it will charge it really fast for the first half or more. Yeah, so it's really convenient to have this Tesla supercharging network while traveling or just while driving. And you will see how close actually the Tesla supercharger is to the track. It's, I think, about 2 kilometers or something from supercharger to the entrance of Nordschleife for tourist drives. and I think it's like about 200 meters from the entrance to GP paddock, so it's really on the spot. It's really on the spot. Okay, so as you see, we are already at the ring, and as you see where we are, you can already understand where the Tesla supercharger is as well. So here you see like the Nürburgring Boulevard and info center, and we just turn around and we go next through the big red sign on the boulevard, which is the most famous for all these pictures. And it's really nice in the night, by the way, because the Nürburgring sign is being lit. And on this roundabout between the Nürburgring Boulevard and Linder Hotel, we just need to choose the third exit. So there is the GP track entrance for trucks, and we just need to choose the third exit, and then turn immediately left, and then again left. Hello. And there we will find a Tesla supercharger V3, which is at the moment the most powerful Tesla charger. So basically our charging today will be only to test if it can charge at maximum speed. Let's put it in the park and let's go to connect the charger. Let's now see how much of the power we can get for the first supercharging session. So okay, so it's just started. So we have already 100 kilowatt of charging power, but I believe it's still just managing the heat and everything to see how much of the power it can get. The only problem is that I think we won't getting much more power than this, because there's already 2 more Teslas charging here, and that's the issue. So because we cannot get the charging speed pretty high now, because there's few more cars are being charged here, so we better come back a little bit later to test if we can get about 200 kilowatts of charging power, because that's very important for us. Because if this car has any issues, it's better to do the warranty thing now before we disassemble the car. So now we will just simply stop charging now, and we will check later when the chargers are emptier, and we will come back. Everything is pretty easy and it's really close to our garage, so it's not a big problem. Also, we can already do one small test, so exactly to check how much kilometers we have to the entrance of the Nordschleife for tourist drives. So what we will do, we will simply trip B, let's reset. Okay, we have 0, and okay, we need to put the card, and we head off to the Nürburgring Nordschleife entrance next to the Devil Diner. So we will simply try to go there to see how many kilometers are from Tesla supercharger through the Ring Boulevard Street to the entrance of tourist drives. Okay, so we have already driven 1 kilometer from the supercharger, and now, by the way, this bridge which we will cross in a moment, no, actually under which we will go, so this bridge under which we will go in a moment, here basically the track goes. So this is the beginning of the track when you are driving a tourist drives layout, so sprint layout of bridge to gantry, and we are entering the old town of Nürburgring. So this is the old town, and the boulevard and the industry park is basically the newer parts of the track. On the left we have the Nürburgring BMW M Center for testing new prototypes of BMWs, and here also we will see a few of the other rental companies who also do some rentals for the track, for tourist drives and track days as well. And I hope we will be the first who will offer fully electric car, and as well fully built as a race car electric one. I think it will be kind of hard to beat this after we do this, so yeah, we will be first, I believe. But we'll see, the competition is big, so it also makes it interesting. Okay, so it's already 2.2 kilometers from the supercharger we have, so My estimate of 2 kilometers is already beaten, so I was wrong, and it will be slightly more, and we'll see in a moment how much, because we already see the entrance of the track. So here next to this roundabout, you can, on the left, you can buy the tickets to enter the track, and on the right you always enter the track for every lap. So at the moment the track is closed because it's only the daytime, it's about 2:30. And yeah, so let's just go slightly here and we'll see. So it's 2.8 kilometers. So there's only 2.8 kilometers from the nearest supercharger of Tesla to the entrance of the Nordschleife. So if you go straight and right, when the track is open, you simply can get to the track. So now let's maybe try the supercharger again. Maybe there will be less cars now, or the cars will be already charged enough so we can see a little bit more speed of charging for us, because I really must see 200 plus kilowatt of charging power before we can assemble the car, because we cannot risk a warranty if the car has any of the big issues. So one is the battery charging can be an issue, and second, we will try the maximum speed, if it can manage to reach the maximum made speed for this car, and how it performs. And if everything goes well, basically we will be ready to disassemble this car and start preparation. So this is the task for today, which I believe we will just test the supercharging now and just straight away to Autobahn to test the maximum speed, and that's it. And then to workshop, and the car will be basically standing till we disassemble it. So we have just came back to the Nürburgring supercharger. So because that one Tesla was already parked there before, it should be almost already fully charged. So I believe we should get quite some of the power, which is possible. Maybe second time won't lie, or we will need a third time to come. So the charging is pretty easy. You just grab this charger of V3, you press this button on the charger, it opens the port, you plug it in firmly, and that's it. And basically it's charging. And now let's see what it will bring us. So now it starts to charge, and yes, we have already 100, 150, 160, 170, 180. Okay, so now the car is charging at 180 kilowatts power, so it means that it's fully capable to charge at the full speed what the supercharger can deliver. It means with the charging system of this Tesla, exactly this one, everything is fine and we don't need to worry about. So now we'll charge the battery a little bit more to about 65-70%, because leaving with 28% for the whole winter, it may damage the battery, because if it goes to zero, it will constantly get damaged. With every hour it stays with zero. So it is always best to keep these batteries with about from 20% to 80% of the battery percentage. It's also not good to keep them full, like at 100% or over 90%, because it will also damage the battery, but also it's really bad to keep it under 10%. So it's always just keep the batteries between 20 to 80% of range, and you will have the battery lasting basically forever. One more tip for charging Teslas. So here I will show you. I try to park the furthest away from the other Tesla which is parked. However, in this charging station, the electricity is being shared between all 4 stalls. However, in most of the Tesla supercharging networks, you have 2, so you have 1A and 1B, and usually later you have 2A, 2B. It means that one electricity source is only shared between 2 of the stalls. It means simply that don't park next to other car and choose the different number when the other car is parked, so you'll have the most powerful charging possible, because it won't share. Of course, there are more and more Teslas on the roads and charging stations are getting a bit more filled, but the charging speed is pretty fast and you normally need only about 15 to 20 minutes of charging to keep going for the next 200-300 kilometers. Okay, so as you see, we are already at 63% and the charging speed is getting a bit lower to now. Oh, it's still reloading. So when you buy the new Tesla, don't be afraid that in the first day the car will be reloading and reloading itself like for a few times. So this is already the 3rd time, and on the last restart I got the premium connectivity enabled, and now we'll see what it brings. Don't be afraid of this, the car is still drivable, and if it happens while driving, the pedals, the steering and everything still works. so don't need to worry about it. It's simply the software of, let's say, radio and this multimedia. So when it will turn on, we'll basically stop charging because it will be enough of the battery for us to test drive it on the Autobahn. So yeah, so we can see we already have the 65% of the battery, and to charge to 90% it would take 20 minutes, because I believe this car next to us is still charging at pretty high rate, so it probably came here just before us. Okay, so we will press the stop charging, unlock the port, we will pull the plug out, and basically we will head to Autobahn. So it's really one of the easiest ways to charge the car, because you don't need any of the apps, additional apps. You don't need any of the credit cards to be present here. So basically what you do, you just put the plug in and the car starts to charge by itself. And later on, after you charge, it simply charges your debit card, which you put it on the account of Tesla. So you don't need to worry about different apps or different things on the different location. Even you're traveling through the whole Europe, the same account works everywhere. So you simply just plug it in, charge it, plug it out, drive it. Simple, really fast and efficient, and works most of the time perfectly. And even some of the stalls doesn't work, so you can always like zoom out the map, let's say, and we see the other charging stations showed in red. And when we press the charging station, it shows how many of the stalls are available, what is the price there, what are the facilities around, how far it is from us. And basically if there is some issue, it will write like one of the stalls is, let's say, not working or out of order, or you will see that it's simply not working. So you can be always sure when you go to any of the charging stations, so you will be able to charge, let's say like here, total 8 stalls, 150 kilowatt max. It means V2 supercharger, so a little bit slower than this, and 3 stalls available. So it's at the moment 3 stalls available. When we arrive there, it can be more busy or less busy. So this one is in Luxembourg, I think, Netherlands, sorry. So temporary closure. It means it's better not to go to this supercharger. And with third-party chargers, it's the problem that they are not up to date online, and you may fail to charge when you arrive to the charging spot. That's why Tesla supercharging network is so important to whole Europe and US electric car transportation, that it really enables you drive this car as a fully normal car, and it can really be comparable to petrol car and even beat it, I would say, because it's really nice charging network. Okay, so now let's go to Autobahn to test the maximum speed, and if it's all fine and it reaches it, it should be above 260, and basically if it reaches it, we can go back to workshop and start working on the project. So we have been very lucky with our position of our workshop. So we are located in Kelberg, and we have one Autobahn which basically called A1, and it begins like 6-7 kilometers away from our workshop. It means that we have basically unlimited speed road with an end. It means that there is no cars coming from behind you, and there is almost no traffic at all the time, because it leads to nowhere, because it ends there. So we are now just heading to A1 beginning, and we will try maximum speed of this car, what it is capable of. And it should be about 260 or a little bit above what the regulation says of this car. So if it can reach the speed, it means it has enough power and it's fully fine with all the engines and battery and power output and etc. So it means we can start working on the car without the worries that it was in full perfect condition before. And if there will be any failures afterwards, it means we did something wrong, because we tested the car before and it was all good. So we can only blame ourselves and search what we can do better. Okay, so we are almost there. I'm sorry for the front windshield. It's just from the way from Köln to back to Ringfreaks. It's basically testing live. So yeah, as you see, A1 is already on the left, and maybe it will be a little bit hard to see, but on the left side the Autobahn is there, and on the right side here there is nothing. It's just basically woods and bushes. And as mentioned before, there are no cars coming from behind, and it's really little traffic up front, so it's a really nice place for testing. So okay, so let's enter the Autobahn completely, and then we can try the maximum speed. I'm not pushing gas fully for the cameras and everything not to fly away, and now I'm full gas. Okay, we already have 150. We have, okay, it's already 200. It's only just few hundred meters and we are already at 210, 220. I will use better the left lane because there is that exit. So, yeah. Okay, 240 we are already. I can already say that it's a little bit downhill, so that's why the speed is pretty gaining fast. Okay, 264. Okay, we have some traffic in front, so we need to brake. Okay, the traffic just moved, so we can keep on going. Yeah, thank you German Autobahns for this possibility. And at 264 basically it's the maximum speed. 265, okay, it's more. Okay, so 265 is the maximum speed of this car, what it's capable for. Okay, and as you see we can keep the speed. I think it's limited of course, but yeah, it can fully drive at that speed without a problem, and it still steers pretty okay, and I don't feel scared, and it's slowing down a little bit because now it's going a little bit uphill, and later it will go downhill, but I will already release the gas because in like 1 kilometer, which will come very fast at this speed, we will exit the Autobahn to come back to Ringfreaks. So it means this car is fully good and it's capable of doing high speeds without an issue, and yeah, so it means that's it for this car. That's it for street driving with the normal car, and in few days basically the car will be disassembled for the roll cage. That's it. We have supercharging, we have top speed without an issue. It means we have all what we need for the project. We have brand new Tesla Model 3 Performance, which will be prepared as a race car pretty soon. While driving slower we can also check how much of energy, okay, it even doesn't show how much of the energy we were using. It was way above 600 watt hours per kilometer. I believe it should be like about let's say in such speed I believe it's possible to drive only about 80 kilometers. It means it should be eating about 700-800 watt hours for 1 kilometer. It means we almost need 1 kilowatt hour to drive every kilometer in such a high speed. It's insane consumption, but compared to any petrol or diesel engines, the efficiency is still great. It just looks big compared to all the other. Okay, now let's just try to pull. Okay, full speed now. Okay, pretty cool. To reach 150 it's really fast. It doesn't surprise me anymore, but it's still great when 200 to reach. It's really easy, and it still keeps on going. Okay, traffic. Can do at the maximum speed, but I can assure you that every Model 3 Performance can go over to 60. So it's pretty damn crazy speed for such a car. It's still an electric car, and when still people compare it to the petrol car and they say it's not capable of something, I mean beat this to 265 easy. That's it. This car goes for the project, and our car is just a dummy for testing, and Yeah, the next stage is basically disassembly of the car and roll cage. This is the first step of the project. So you have seen how we picked up our Tesla, how we tested it to check before disassembly of the car. And now there is one bonus thing for you. Because we are having the electric cars already, it means we will need to charge them. And also, we already noticed, like last year and this year, that some of the customers come already with the electric cars to rent our petrol ones. Even if it's Tesla or not, or other electric car, from now on, for our customers, we are offering free charging. So it means when you come to Ringfreaks, you can grab this wire. It is Type 2 charger. It means it will fit most of the cars. It has enough of wire length, so it's 7.3 meters. And you can simply plug it into your car. We will leave it open for all electric cars. And you can simply start charging when you need. So this is the bonus for all our customers who will come with electric cars, and also to all our friends who will need some juice in Kjellberg. So basically that's it for the episode 1. You have seen how we picked up the Tesla, how we tested it, and now we are basically ready to disassemble the car and prepare it for the project. Thank you for watching again, and see you next episode.